Welcome to CTV News. On tonight's show, we will be going inside the Colorado State University Early Childhood Center and their special guest.
We also have an inside look at the new beautiful fall weather coming in, plus a first glance into CSU intramural sports.
Good evening, Colorado State University. I'm Tatiana, Parafiniuk-Talesnick.
And I'm Stuart Smith. And here's what's going on in the world of news today. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos has announced to repeal President Obama's Dear Colleagues guidelines. This Obama-era guideline is the requirement that schools carry out investigations based on preponderance of evidence. Emphasis is placed on quantitative evidence over qualitative. In theory, evidence provided by a seemingly more validated source could outweigh evidence provided by 7 other, less validated sources. The Red Whistle Brigade, an organization run by the Women and Gender Advocacy Center at Colorado State University, was on the plaza to show support for Dear Colleague guidelines. The Red Whistle Brigade is concerned for victims and that repealing this guideline will limit what colleges can do for victims who have not proved their perpetrator guilty. The Women and Gender Advocacy Center urges the community to stay involved going forward. Students can utilize the Red Whistle Brigade along with other support centers on campus.
Denver police arrested a suspect for a hit-and-run that resulted in the death of a Colorado State University graduate. Adrian Escalante was apprehended on September 13th for hitting and killing CSU alum Stephen Glad on August 26th. According to a news release from the Denver District Attorney, a black Land Rover hit a pedestrian identified as Glade on the corner of the 20th Street and Blake Street in Denver at 1:55 a.m. On August 26th, the vehicle drove away from the scene without providing aid to Glad or contacting police, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by the Collegian. Glad was pronounced dead at the scene after suffering severe head trauma to his skull and sustained bruises and abrasions to his torso. A bystander who witnessed the accident recorded a video that included the license plate. Later, surveillance video discovered that the vehicle received a parking citation earlier that evening, capturing an image of the driver on September 8th. An anonymous source identified the man as Adrian Escalante. Surveillance video from the parking citation and a mugshot of Escalante confirmed the identity of the driver.
If you have walked around campus within the last few weeks, you may have noticed some new signs, one of which caught my attention. If you have had any experience with any of the ID checks at bars, we would like to... On one version of the poster, it says that 213 CSU students were caught using fake IDs last year at bars and liquor stores around CSU. I wondered, what are the numbers for previous years? So I contacted Michael Katz of the Student Conduct Services, and he had numbers all the way back to 2013. In 2013-2014, there were 12 students caught with using fake IDs. The next year, in 2014-2015, 63 were caught. In 2015-2016, 201 were caught. Last year, 233 were caught, which is different than what the poster said. And so far this year, 13 students have been caught using fake IDs in bars and liquor stores around the campus. Another part of the poster says that police will be checking IDs at bars and liquor stores this fall, making it sound like it's a new policy. However, according to Andrea Coriel of the CSU Health Network, that policy has been implemented for several years now. She says, the fake ID poster is part of a larger campaign to give students a heads up about CSU PD and FCPS fall enforcement. She also added, this is nothing new. FCPS regularly conducts fake ID checks at bars and restaurants. I don't know about you, but that's not a policy that I'd ever heard of until I saw these posters. So you may want to check it out. And if you have any stories about cops checking your ID in bars or liquor stores, tweet us at CTV11 or tweet me directly at NotStuartSmith. If you have had any experience with any of the ID checks at bars, we would like to hear your story. So tweet us at CTV11 or email us at ctv@collegian.com.
As with most cities in America, Fort Collins runs into the issue with not having enough spaces to house its homeless population. Fort Collins solidified their plan for winter shelters for its homeless population and presented that plan to members of the community Monday evening. Council members Bob Overbeck and Ray Martinez were among the dozen-plus community members in attendance. Overbeck stated that the plan for shelters is already approved and will not need to go to the Fort Collins City Council for any kind of vote. Monday's meeting was straightforward as the city still does not have its desired number of shelter spaces for the coming winter. The city currently offers 2 separate overnight shelter options in addition to warming shelters. Warming shelters are utilized from 6 to 10 p.m. in the evening. Individuals have the option of checking into Catholic Charities at 6 p.m. and are then given transportation to remote locations within the downtown and surrounding areas.
Colorado Representative Jared Polis visited Colorado State University's Early Childhood Development Center Monday afternoon to gain a better understanding of preschools as part of his initiatives to provide more access to education. Polis recently proposed 2 bills in Washington, D.C. that would expand access to affordable and quality education. The first bill aims to expand high-quality preschools to children, and the second aims to help students obtain an associate's degree. According to a media advisory, Polis came to Colorado State University and read to children in the Early Childhood Development Center. Karen Rattenborg, the executive director at ACC, said Polis visited the center to have a better understanding of what is going on with early childhood education and childcare in the Fort Collins area. Rattenborg said it is important for childhood development programs to be more accessible for families.
Amidst a time in which racially driven events such as the recent Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville or the noose hanging incident in Newsom Hall encourage cultural division and social injustice, the 17th Annual Diversity Symposium offers the Fort Collins community a chance to explore diversity topics through different perspectives in a welcoming, inclusive environment. Taking place in the Lurie Student Center conference rooms, ballrooms, and theater between September 25th through the 29th, this year's Diversity Symposium features a keynote address speakers and 121 session presenters who are mainly from CSU and the wider Colorado area. This is the highest number of sessions at a diversity symposium yet. Topics will focus on a variety of issues ranging from affirmative action and Black feminism to social identity and campus climate surveys. Well, that wraps it up for everything in the CSU world of news.
But stay tuned for Zach Trombetta with the weather forecast and Alexandria Clough's update on all things Ram athletics.
Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It's just hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back from break. Rams weather anchor Zach Trombetta here. Hope you guys all had a fabulous Tuesday. We're able to enjoy some of the temperatures in the high 60s and mid 70s. Currently right now in Fort Collins, 72 degrees with the winds you've experienced this afternoon, 15 miles per hour out of the northeast. Partly cloudy night here in Fort Collins. Let's take a look at the overnight lows across the state of Colorado. Up in Fort Collins tonight, 44 degrees, 46 in Sterling, and down in Lamar, 46 as well. Denver and Colorado Springs, 50, and Pueblo, 52. Out on the western slope, Craig and Gunnison, the coolest temperatures we've seen this fall, 33 degrees. Those will be the coldest cities in the state tonight. 50 out in Grand Junction and 37 in Telluride. Now for tomorrow's highs, 76 up in Fort Collins, 76 in Sterling, and Lamar, 78. Denver, you'd be sitting at a nice temperature of 79, Colorado Springs 74, and Pueblo 78. Now out on the western slope, Vail 65, Grand Junction 83, always pretty warm out there, 70 in Gunnison. Now for tomorrow morning when you get out on the bus, 8 a.m., I put the wind graphic in there because you're going to experience gusts like we saw this afternoon, 15 miles an hour and gusts up to 20 miles an hour. 6:46 is your sunrise tomorrow morning with a temperature of 49 degrees at 8 a.m. By noon, we'll be at a temperature of 65, and 5 p.m. we'll reach our high of 76 degrees. Tomorrow morning, you're going to want to leave the house with a light coat, maybe a long sleeve or sweater. Now, I've seen a lot of people on campus wear shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops all year, but you might want to reconsider tomorrow morning if you're waiting outside for your 8 a.m. class. When a wind gust comes through at 20 miles an hour, that might make the 49-degree temperatures feel like 40. Now, last week I ended the show talking about the colors up in the high country for this fall. If you look along the I-70 corridor from Denver, Frisco, and Eagle, that's where the temperatures right now are peaking. Or sorry, not temperatures, the colors are peaking. Now, I know you want to know when you'll see gold in Fort Collins. I project a week and a half to 2 weeks, you'll be seeing Instagrams like these around the oval, one of the most beautiful parts of campus, and it's going to be great. I'd say week and a half, most. That's all I have in the world of weather tonight. Stay tuned for Sports with Alex next.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
You are listening to 90.5 KCSU Fort Collins with DJ Mean Beats,
DJ Nightshade,
DJ Wildcard. Music to me is
one of the best creative outlets that I can think of.
An escape from the real world.
Music to me is an expression of love.
Go from like folk to hip hop to like classic rock, 1960s bossa nova. With music, there's like no boundaries.
I work here because I love music, and you do too.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Alex Clough with CTV Sports, bringing you the latest in Colorado State athletics. The Colorado State football team had a decent run against the #1 football team in the SEC, Alabama. CSU lost 41-23 on Saturday in Tuscaloosa. The Rams had 391 yards of total offense and Alabama had 487. QB Nick Stevens had a great game as he threw for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. Stevens also had 2 interceptions. The game was off to a slow start there in the first quarter as the Rams trailed 14-0, but that was what most people expected. True freshman Warren Jackson was able to get his first career touchdown before the end of the half, which I'm sure he was very excited to have his first touchdown against Alabama. In the opening of the second half, CSU turned over the ball and Alabama took advantage of that. Alabama was able to score 2 touchdowns, bringing the score 38-10. Late in the fourth quarter, Jackson caught a 3-yard pass from Stevens in the end zone, bringing the final score to 41-23. The Colorado State's 23 points were the most scored by a non-Power 5 team against Alabama since 2007. Now the Rams have a nice break this week before they head into Mountain West Conference play at Hawaii on September 30th. The Colorado State volleyball team had another great weekend in the second CSU tournament. The team walked away with two sweeps and a loss. The first 2 sweeps were against Albany and Xavier. The big loss was against Colorado on Saturday night, who is currently ranked 25th. Roughly 4,700 Ram fans came to support the team, but CSU fell 3-2. Sonia Cheesemick was a key player in the game as she had 16 kills and 3 blocks. Brianna Reynolds and Jasmine Hanna also added 13 and 12 kills respectively. The Rams won the first 2 sets, but CSU's defense was able to put a stop to the Rams. The Rams held the third set all the way to 21-20, but the Buffs went on a 5-1 scoring run, and there was no coming back for the Rams. The Rams were clearly struggling there in that last 2 sets as they fell to a .200 hitting percentage. The Rams went 10-2 in the preseason and will begin conference play this Thursday against New Mexico at 7 p.m. in Moby Arena. The Colorado State soccer team fell 3-2 against Kansas State in extra time on Sunday. K-State was able to score 2 goals in the first 31 minutes of the game, but those were the only goals they were able to get for the rest of regulation. CSU's Beth Plentel took a penalty kick for the Rams and beat the keeper to the lower left. This brought the score to 2-1, and the Rams continued to fight in the second half. And Hannah Gurdon passed the ball to Maddie Rodriguez, and she fired a shot, bringing the score to a tie. In the 95th minute, K-State's Brooklyn Entz got the third and final goal of the game. The Rams will open up conference play this Friday at Air Force at 7 p.m. For more sport updates, follow the CTV 11 YouTube page, and don't go away because Kiaira Coles is up next with entertainment.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Hey there, CSU, your favorite entertainment anchor is here. I'm Kiaira Coles, and let's dive into all the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. Actor and comedian Kevin Hart has recently come under fire after an alleged cheating scandal came to light. However, the story is much more twisted than one would expect. According to a representative for Hart, someone tried setting him up in a failed extortion attempt. Apparently, the alleged extortionist, whose identity is currently unknown, acquired a video of Hart and a woman who was clearly not his wife engaging in sexually suggestive conduct. The person then allegedly demanded money in exchange for keeping the video private. Hart, refusing to be blackmailed, posted a video to his Instagram account addressing the incident.
You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say that I am or claim to be in any way, shape, or form. And I made a bad error in judgment and put myself in an environment where only bad things can happen, and they did. And in doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt the people closest to me, who I've talked to and apologized to, being my wife and my kids.
Law enforcement is investigating the incident, and they believe they know the identity of the person who demanded money. However, it is still unclear if the person demanding money and the woman in the video are one and the same. Hart's wife, Aniko, who is pregnant with the couple's first child, has yet to comment on the incident, but was spotted out in LA still donning her wedding ring. Dancing with the Stars season premiere kicked off last night with a bang. The highest score of the night, a 22 out of 30, went to violinist Lindsey Sterling and her partner Mark Ballas. Other standouts included Vanessa Lachey with a 21 out of 30 and Nikki Bella with a 20 out of 30. However, one of the most impressive and inspiring dances of the night goes to ESPN personality and former Paralympian swimmer Victoria Arlen. At age 11, Arlen was diagnosed with 2 diseases that left her in a vegetative state for 4 years. Doctors believe there was little hope of survival, and if she did survive, recovery was unlikely. However, after 4 years, Arlen began relearning to eat, speak, and move. In April of 2016, she learned how to walk after spending nearly a decade being paralyzed from the waist down. In a blog created by Arlen on People.com, she states how she used to dream about being on Dancing with the Stars, saying, quote, "When I was sick, my parents would remember that dream and put Dancing with the Stars on TV so I could watch it. It was always a motivating factor to start my recovery, but I never imagined I would actually do it." Arlen's Cha-Cha scored a 19 out of 30. The 69th Emmys premiered this past Sunday, and the night was full of highlights. Big winners include The Handmaid's Tale and Big Little Lies. Noticeable firsts include Donald Glover being the first African American to win Best Comedy Series and Director for Atlanta, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, winning Best Lead Actress in a Comedy for the 6th consecutive year, became the record holder for the most wins by an actor or actress playing one character. Jokes from the night included repeated jabs at Trump, and a surprise former member of his cabinet even made an appearance. Former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, or rather Spicy, showed up rolling podium and all to humor himself at one of Hollywood's biggest events. Spicer poked fun at his reference to Trump's inauguration crowd as the biggest of all time and compared it to the Emmys crowd. Everyone was completely surprised, including Melissa McCarthy, whose Saturday Night Live portrayal of Spicy went viral. Nonetheless, the audience appeared to laugh at the spectacle. If you are an athletic CSU student looking to get involved on campus, then I have the perfect activity for you. For just $10, you can join any of CSU's intramural sports teams for the remainder of the semester. Sports range from flag football, volleyball, and even badminton, and are a great way to stay active and meet new people in the process.
8. Co-ed leagues means there needs to be an even number of girls and guys. Goal is to get the flag, don't let the other team score. You know, go big or go home.
Sports vary in length and range from a weekend tournament to a 4-week league. Well, that's all the time I have for you tonight, Rams. Have a great week, and we will see you back here on Thursday with our news team. And don't forget to check out the CTV Cook Show tomorrow night. Have a good night, Rams.